friends, here we are. Let me know if you can hear me, how it sounds. Audio is so important because as any of you guys that watched the podcast live stream interview that I did on the Urban Gardener channel the other day, audio is so important because, man, that was very unfortunate that I went back and watched that. I went back and watched the interview, and man, it was just almost unwatchable on a good speaker. I think on a phone you could hear it, but man, that was so unfortunate. We said so many good things. There was so much positive energy and stuff like that, that it's a tragedy to have just such poor audio quality because you can, people can deal with poor video quality. I mean, that's one thing, but you really can't deal with poor sound quality because that's everything from this medium, especially for things like this podcast kind of stuff where it's all just about what we're saying and the energy and stuff. So yeah, it's unfortunate. And then I went back and watched most of his I looked at some of his other podcast live streams he's done, and they were all like that. They were all super poor sound quality. So yeah, all right guys, let me know where you are at, where you're viewing this from, what's on your mind, what life is like there right now. So let us see here. Voltage Nut, what's up, my friend? He says, okay, so yeah, I said, what are we going to talk about today? And he said, how about the nature of reality and vibrations? Absolutely, we can talk about that. Let us see what other people are feeling like. But everything is vibration, my friend. The entire reality of all that is an energetic sea of vibrations. This is true. And it is up to you and your mind what you choose to condense the vibrations into what appears to be solid. So you are literally creating your universe, your experience of reality, by the way that you decode the vibrations that are all around us. This is a decoding machine in the same way that the computer decodes the Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi is all around us all the time right now. But unless you have a device that can access that Wi-Fi and decode it in a certain way, it doesn't mean anything. You can't even see the Wi-Fi. Can you think of that? The internet exists all around us right now. If you have Wi-Fi, it's all around you, the entire internet. But you can't access it. You can't see it. You can't feel it. You can't touch it unless you have the right device to decode it. And then it will present to you one page at a time. Yes, so that you can see it. And so in very much the same way, this is a decoding device of the cosmic internet. Yes, because until the internet is decoded, it is just vibrations like everything else. So yeah. Okay, guys, let's see. I want to see who's here. I want to see what's up. Let's see, Big Brian or Big Brain, what's up? It says good morning, and Donna Torrance says opening the pineal gland. Yes, my friends, this really is what it is all about. Once the pineal gland becomes opened, this is then energy just flows, and then the whole concept of me as an individual that is in a world full of other separate individuals moving through space and time and all of that. Once the pineal gland opens, all of that is seen to be a fallacy. It's seen to be actually the opposite, that we are all the one, all that is. So there is no you. And so the concept of you dissolves, and all of the worries and the fears and all of that, the uncertainties of the future and what's going to happen to me in my life and all that just evaporates, because you see that there is only the constant flow of all that is. There is not the little me energy that is worrisome and that is fearful and all of this stuff. What's going to happen and all? None of that, because none of that is actually real. And when the pineal gland opens, my friends, that is what is seen. But of course, a person can't tell you that. It doesn't mean anything. If someone tells you that, it's like, oh, okay, what do you mean I don't exist? That doesn't make any sense at all. It just sounds absurd and too far out there. But when it becomes a reality for you, it completely changes everything. And it's just seen to be, oh, that's the way that it always has been. My whole life, I thought it was so completely different, but it hasn't been any different than the way it is. The isness of all things. Guys, you can start by reading A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. You can start by reading Eckhart teaching. Yes, that's a very good introduction. It's a good bridge between the gap of the commonly accepted reality that we think that we're living in, and then the ultimate reality. And so that's a good doorway, the now, definitely. So I would highly recommend Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, also A New Earth. If you get it on tape or CD, we used to call it books on tape. You know, you used to actually get a cassette tape. You can get that and just put it on repeat. And because you have already read self-mastery through conscious auto-suggestion, then you know that it's just the repetition that matters, along with all the other the classic self-help books and stuff. But any of the books or any of the teachings that deal with the subconscious mind really reiterate the fact that it is repetition. That is how we really get to the subconscious mind. So you get those audiobooks and you put them on repeat and you just absorb it. It doesn't even matter if you're really listening to it. In fact, it's easier to go into the subconscious mind if it's just on in the background. Think of that. And this is the truth. That the subconscious mind, when it's focused, when the conscious mind is focused on something else, then the subconscious is more easily imprinted upon through repetition. Yes, this is sort of hypnosis and all these other kind of things. They all and television advertising and stuff. It all works upon that basis, that premises. Okay. Let us see here, and let's see, Jay. Whenever you come up with this, always okay. Yes, whatever you come up with is good. Thank you. I'm glad we're all just here flowing with the energy. No matter what time it is, no matter what country you're in, we're all right here, right now, sharing this high vibrational positive energy, and that's what it's all about, my friends. So Nancy, hello, says blessings from rainy Chattanooga. Oh man. Beautiful, beautiful rain. We finally got a little bit of rain yesterday, a little sprinkling this morning. So a little bit. It's not, I mean, the soil's moist. The soil's moist. That's good. That's good. It's a start, you know. So any rain is good rain and wonderful for the growing things. Matthias, hello, my friend. My Dutch friend, beautiful garden. Thank you for tagging me in the Instagram post. Pam says, yes, I listened on my phone and I stayed until the end. It was great. Okay, good. Yeah, you're talking about the interview with Urban Gardener. Yeah, it sounded okay on the phone, but like on other speakers, like I put mine, my computer and all my stuff I have going through Bose, you know, real speakers. And it was just like, he was like super loud and blown out. And I sounded like I was talking back here, like just... Not good. Not a professional thing, man. That's unfortunate because, you know, if you want people to come onto your show, you have to show them respect, the respect by having a high quality audio setup so that they can be, you know, if they're going to bring their audience to your place, then you need to say, okay, well, here is a good quality. We're all going to have a good experience. It's not going to be some real janky, you know, but hey, he's working it out. So it's all good. Jerry Bates, what's up, my friend? He says, I got through it and the info was there, so it was okay. All right, good. See, I'm glad. And that's a good thing with this crowd here is that you guys can just kind of deal with it and find the, extract the essence, extract what is valuable. And that's what I do as well. You just kind of absorb what is useful and you sort of disregard the rest. And that's really important. Let's see. PA says, I had an almost full blast on portable speaker and it was hard to understand. Yes, exactly. On a portable speaker, it was really tough. On the phone, it was okay. But, yep. Let's see here. Rainy in Detroit. Jerry Bates says, anything about water? Yes, water. We need the water. That's what we really need. Okay, and let us see here. Interested, so Big Brain says, interested in your experience with Kundalini. Oh, yes. That will have to be for another time. That will have to be its own separate thing. Maybe at some point we will do like predetermined things that we can talk about because many things that can't just be briefly mentioned, you know, even the things we've talked about so far today could really have their own segment because you have to be led up. You have to set up the sort of knowledge. It's sort of like storytelling, but you have to set it up. There's like context. Context is so important, and so to give context and to bring through like a journey to a realization, that's what it's all about. I like doing those kind of things, but that takes a bit of time and things like that. So let's see here. And who else is here? Let's look here. Matthew, hello, my friend, says doing yin yoga, listening to this beloved dude. All right, my friend. Yes. And I know you know about the sound quality and all the positive energy as a performer. So hope you were doing well, my friend. I hope that you remember that one thing that you were trying to get rid of in your life. I hope that that succeeded for you. Truly, I do. Because the freedom that exists beyond beyond being dependent on any kind of substance of any type for our emotional or spiritual well-being is the freedom that comes from being free of that is the ultimate. It's where it's at. Okay. And that can be anything. That can be a chemical, that can be legal, illegal, that could also be shopping addictions, that could also be addiction to drama and upheaval in our life in order to feel a sense of emotional well-being and satisfaction. But once we see all these patterns in our life and then we can sort of cut them out by reprogramming our subconscious, then, oh man, once we no longer need to find ourselves in those things, then they just go by the wayside. And we have freedom because we're not dependent on anything. And this, oh my goodness, this is where it's at. So let me see what else you guys are saying here. All right. Hello, Jen. Lisa of Light says, in total agreement, but I'm still struggling with shutting off my monkey mind, which replay recent betrayals and losses over and over again, even though I'm truly looking forward with faith. Okay, so Lisa of Light says, I'm still struggling with shutting off my monkey mind, which replays recent betrayals and losses over and over again, even though I'm truly looking forward with faith. Okay, so for those of you that are not aware of the verbiage or vernacular or the words used, monkey mind is what is described. I think most of you are familiar with this term, but monkey mind is that sort of term that we use in like meditation and spirituality to describe the mind, really. But this only comes, it makes perfect sense to the people that have spent time observing their mind in silence. So to the people that, especially beginners, I mean, in all levels of meditation practitioners and things, then they will find very quickly that even though they've gone through their whole life with the assumption that they are the one in control of their mind, that of course I have control of my mind. What do you mean? Well, just sit there so let us just begin a meditation practice. We'll do 10 seconds of meditation. Okay. So when we do this, the only thing that you're going to focus on is the sensation of air as it passes in and out of your nose and out of your body. Not one thought, nothing. Okay. So, because you have control of your mind, remember? So just do not think of any other thing other than the feeling of the sensation of the air passing in and out. Yes, okay. Even though that was just a couple of seconds, for most people, they cannot even focus their mind on that sensation for more than a breath or two or three or four. But when they start to, because the mind will jump to other things, you'll say, okay, I'm going to do this. And then you're going to, one breath out. And then all of a sudden, did I remember to shut off the stove? Or all of a sudden, wait, I'm meditating. And then you'll come back, a few more breaths. And then, wait, who's going to pick up the kids from swimming on Thursday? Start planning everything. Or what am I going to feed the kids tonight or something? All this other thing enters into the mind. And then, wait, I'm meditating. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, try really hard to clear the mind. The breath, I'm supposed to focus or something on the breath, and then the mind is bringing in all sorts of things. Do you remember that argument that you had with your cousin yesterday? All these kind of things come into the mind. And this is what we call the monkey mind, because it jumps around over to here, bah, 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 over to here, over to there, bah, and it swings from one thought to the next like a monkey. And this can be overwhelming this can be overwhelming to people, especially at first when they don't have experience with this. It can be shocking because they will think that their whole life they have control of their mind, but then as soon as they sit down and examine it, they realize they don't have any control whatsoever over that. They a little bit they can direct it here and there, but other than that, they're just at the mercy of wherever their mind wants to take them. They just they're at the mercy of their monkey mind. And they actually, it can be shocking and a little bit horrifying to some people at first when they begin these practices to realize that their whole life actually is not under their control. Because if you can't control the mind, then the mind is the beginning of everything. The thoughts and the beliefs and the habit patterns and the outlook, the perceptions, the perspectives. If you can't control that, what do you control? And this can be very like, whoa, this can be the abyss for a lot of people, okay? And, but this is the beginning of true realization and of actual control. So, the monkey mind. So getting back to I just wanted to describe the monkey mind to you guys, okay? So obviously you guys will be very well acquainted with it. But, so for Lisa, the thing is, over and over again, even though you're looking for it. Okay, yes. So in order to, at first, the way to do it is to have the meditation practice and just do the practice. Do not worry about progress. Do not worry about the mind going here or there. Do not worry about any of that, okay? Ms. T, that's right. She says, you become good at whatever you practice. That is a slogan for sure. That is a mantra. You become good at whatever you practice. And so do the breathing meditation. Yes? Do the breathing meditation where you are focused only on the breathing. And then every time that the mind wanders away, as soon as you realize it, you just bring it right back. And even if it's just a couple breaths, you bring it right back. Just like that. Okay? And we could do an actual meditation. That would be kind of good sometime. We could do like a 20-minute, or 10 or 20-minute meditation with you guys one of these times. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to do something like that, because maybe we'll plan it for the next week, and then we'll start the first 20 minutes will be the meditation. And then that way you guys can have the technique. I used to teach meditation at the Indiana Buddhist Temple for a couple of years. And so I was used to working with people, groups of people and stuff. We'd go to universities and university classes would come to us and stuff. And the monks loved me because I could bridge the gap because they're from Sri Lanka, and the cultural differences and the language differences and all that, I could bridge the gap between all of that. And so we could do like a 20-minute guided meditation. Yeah. And then you could use that practice to just every time that you can think of it, to practice it. And the more often that you think of it, the more and more you have control over the mind. Definitely. So let's see here. Okay, so it sounds like you guys want to do that would be great. Yes. PA says, if we can pass out, I'm in. Yeah. So you're talking about, a lot of people, they, as soon as they start to meditate, they fall asleep like this, but that's because their mind has been trained like that, for one, and for two, they're deeply exhausted, spiritually exhausted. And so if you go to meditate and immediately within a few minutes, you're falling asleep, or really falling asleep at all, that's because your body is trying to tell you something. It's a feedback loop. And so you need more of the vitamins and minerals. You need more life force in you. You need to re-examine your energy expenditures in your life. This is very important. Let's see. Okay, so PA's talking about really actually passing out through the Wim Hof. Oh yeah, that can happen. But we'll do the Wim Hof as winter time starts to come closer, even though the solstice was just a few days ago on the 21st. So technically winter is on its way. Sorry. But as winter gets closer, we will be getting more into the sauna and the ice bathing, and we'll do the breathing techniques and stuff like that. So yes, we can do that. We could definitely do that. Jerry says, I dropped drinking alcohol when we had children years ago, and now my children are drinking alcohol, and I really dislike the negative effects. What are some good arguments against it? Ooh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Some arguments against alcohol, man. Well, there is the thing is that no matter what kind of and I'm speaking from life experience here, years of life experience, that it doesn't really matter what kind of, because I'm thinking automatically, well, you could show them the Huberman Lab podcast, where he extols the many detrimental effects of drinking alcohol. What's up, Trish? Good to see you here. Uh, the where he goes on about the many, I mean, just even casual drinking, even just a few glasses a few nights a week is what it does to the actual physiology of the body, and how detrimental it really is, and how you become dependent even on what is termed a recreational level and all that stuff, where you become dependent upon the effects of the alcohol to relax and to become, sociable and stuff like that, to become a whole different person. So there's that, okay? Also, Matt LaFleur, he's got a channel where he extols the detrimental effects of even a little bit of alcohol drinking, let alone drinking on a consistent basis. It is literally poison. It is literally poison. Poison for the body, but it's poison for the soul, my friend. I mean, over the years, because in the pursuit of freedom, I didn't know I was pursuing freedom, but I just wanted to be free. And so in the pursuit of that, I experimented with everything you could imagine. The hardest, experimented all around over the years. And come to find that the strongest of all substances is alcohol. Alcohol is the strongest drug of all of them. And this is mind-blowing to me, coming to the realization of this, because it is the one that is the most socially acceptable. It is the one that is not only socially acceptable, but pushed upon us. And once you cleanse your life of all mind and mood altering substances, which I have, I'm going on 6 years now. So once you purge your life of that, then you see it everywhere. The alcohol, the billboards with alcohol, the commercials with alcohol, all of the country and Western songs, man, my goodness, I can't even listen to any of them. Not because it does anything, but because it's so pathetic how every country song is about have a little drink, and I've been drinking with drink and drink. Everybody drink all the time. Everybody drink. There's a very certain reason that is pushed upon us, because the number one quickest way to lower the vibration of the human being is to introduce alcohol to it. It lowers, it temporarily feels like it does. Hey, spirits, we're all buddies and we're all hanging out. I'm going to tell you how I really feel because I'm feeling buzzed and ha ha ha. Yeah. And everybody's being social. Yeah. And it feels like that's high vibrational, but it's actually the opposite of that, my friends. And so it brings you down. It totally brings you. You cannot even imagine how high you can get without substances of any kind. The highest, infinitely high. Take this from someone who knows. And so, yes, the alcohol is pushed upon us because it keeps the people in a low vibrational state of bickering and of focusing on things in the worldly 5 sense plane. It just keeps people enslaved. And so it is pushed upon us like that. And so once you realize that all of these things, and that it is the strongest, no drug could bring me, I could never lose myself. That feeling of just wanting to, something was not right. That feeling I had to be somewhere else, or I had to be someone else, or something that deep in my soul, nothing could quench that. No drugs of any kind except alcohol. I could lose myself completely. I mean, completely, as if that was the only drug. And so it is way more powerful than people give it credit for, because it's so socially acceptable and pushed upon us and all of that. And we got movies where people are and in the movies, people are drinking constantly, but yet they never have to pay the price for it. They just wake up the next day, oh, I got a little bit of a hangover or something, but then they go about being a superstar, or something, or they go about having a good, in the movies, the guy drinks all the time and stuff, but yet he still has a high paying job and maintains his life and people respect him and stuff. Yeah, not so much. That's not reality, guys. That's not how it happens, okay? What you have to do is you have to go deep within yourself, and you have to say and get honest with yourself and say, what am I running from? Why do I feel? And as soon as I say running from, most people say, I'm not running from anything. Okay, then why do you feel any need whatsoever to escape the present moment? Why do you feel any need whatsoever to be anything other than what you are naturally right now? Why do you feel the need to introduce a poison or a mind or mood alteration of any kind? Why do you feel the need for that? And you have to ask yourself these questions. But the point being, until a person is led to that, no amount of showing them the Huberman Lab podcast or telling them what I'm telling them, no amount of that is going to do anything, really. I know it never did for me for years, until personally, I had to get brought to my knees, man. I mean, I had to get brought to my knees over and over again before I could really realize that the way that things are, before I could really realize this. And so until a person is led there, in my opinion, there's very little you can do until they are inspired to make a change of some kind. So, you can give your opinions and stuff, but you also risk alienating this person because they're on their path. They're on their journey. And so for whatever reason, you just have to have the trust that you did your job as a parent for those years leading up to it, and those first really 7, but 12 to 15 years of their life, that you instilled the right program into their mind. And that it doesn't matter if they're going to go off and explore all these different things. I mean, goodness, I explored everything that a person could explore in my experience. And so if I didn't have that freedom to do that, then I would not know. I would not know. I would not be here to this place. I would still be thinking that I could find myself in somewhere else, but so I had to leave, and for 10 years on like an odyssey where I just tried everything that life had to offer. So you just have to have faith that he's got the right program instilled in him. So, you can let your opinion be known and all of this, but yeah, don't risk alienating yourself from the person because Yeah. Okay, Brian says, getting real with yourself is the hardest thing ever. Pride is a monster. Oh man, absolutely. Getting real with yourself, and most people will go their whole life, this entire incarnation, this whole experience, they will go without ever facing themselves. And because what they find there at first can seem terrifying. And so but what do they find there? Yeah, that's the thing. What do they find there, my friends? Pam says, clever advertising, especially when it's well-known actor. Many actors have died from a life of drinking. So sad. Oh, absolutely. And people know, I mean, the advertisers and all of that, they know this. And it's not just that they want to sell some drinks. It's that they want to keep the people in a low vibrational state. That's what it boils down to. Because when you keep the people... when you keep the people in this state, they will enslave themselves, because they think that they come to associate drinking with good times. Oh, let's just have some good times, ha ha ha, with the commercials and all that, and people, real healthy looking, real beautiful people doing something, hey, drinking and stuff. Yeah, but that doesn't really translate to reality, but they're working on the subconscious mind. So look at advertisements. If you want to learn about the subconscious mind, you can look at the way that advertisers, real advertisers, not your local commercials and stuff, but like Bud Light and how but like the serious Marlboro and McDonald's, I mean, how they all advertise, where there's billions of dollars invested. you can look and see how they play on the subconscious mind. Just over and over and over again, they present to you the image of all these healthy, young, fresh, beautiful people with good, positive lives and everything. No bags under their eyes, no wrinkles in their face and all that stuff. They're just cheering, having a good old time, laughing, big old smile, teeth all white and stuff. That ain't reality. That's just not reality, okay? I mean, maybe it is for a little brief period in your early 20s and stuff, but then by the time you get into your 30s, guys, your lifestyle becomes apparent on your face. Your lifestyle and your choices become apparent on your face, in your body, and in your aura, in the way that people feel around you. Okay, and you can tell. You can just tell the people that have worrisome thoughts about where their money's coming from or what's going to happen. You can just tell. And then you can tell the people that have found peace. You can see it in their eyes. And not just the eyes, but the aura, the whole vibrational frequency around them. And you can see this. And this becomes super apparent in our 30s and 40s and beyond. And so it's just, so man, I could go on and on about this aspect, okay? Let's see here. Doug the Wood Butcher says, late but here. Hello, Vikings. Yes, hello, my friend. Welcome to the Viking clan today. Mom Computer, good to see you here. Says, before a person can change anything, they have to recognize and accept there is a problem. Know someone that went to rehab 4 times and told they were going to die, liver, until they finally stopped drinking. Yes, and I'm surprised that they even did. So many of them did not stop drinking. Yes, and I know this personal for sure. But what you said right there is that's the foundation of it all. Before a person can change anything, they have to recognize and accept there is a problem. And so we call that denial. Yes, we can call that denial. No, there's not even a problem. So why? What are you even talking to me about? Because there's not a problem. So what am I gonna? I don't have a problem. So I'm not gonna do any of these measures to fix the problem because there is no problem. And so I call this people do not change. So another way to say what you just said, Mom Computer, is that I call it people will not change. People will not change until they are inspired to change, and what can inspire the person to change is not the same for everyone. So going to rehab and being told that you're going to die if you don't stop drinking, that doesn't necessarily do it for everyone, not even close. Losing your wife and kids and losing your house, that doesn't even do it for everyone. For a lot of people, you would think, well, once I got to that point, then I would realize, I would know to dial it back. Not necessarily, my friends. It doesn't work like that. And so losing everything that you have and just being a shell of a human being for the rest of your life and being in a prison of the 5 senses, a self-perpetuating prison of consumption and just misery, that can be people's lifelong reality until they are inspired to change. Only once they are truly deeply inspired, once they finally say, okay, look, this is not working. This is not working. Okay. I am not going to, I might as well be dead because what I'm experiencing is worse than death. And I lived that way for some time. And so not everybody has to get to that point. Okay. But for some of us, you do. You have to get to the point where it's like, okay, I got nothing left. I've tried everything. I've been everywhere. I've done everything. I've tried, and still it's not it. It's just not it, And so I have to absolutely change. And so it took several years, the conversion. Actually, the conversion happened in like one evening, one moment. And then I just awoken to like awaking from a dream. And and then everything changed after that, my friends. Everything totally changed. So, let's see. Jerry says, I need to trigger the inspiration, so I will quietly seek it out in them. I like the dichotomy of positive and negative energy and the results of either. Yes. Okay. Well, you can try. You can try to trigger the inspiration, definitely. The most important thing is, in my opinion, is to lead by the example of your life, to show, look how healthy I am, And look at how, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You don't say this. You don't say, look how healthy I am and how peaceful I am, but you just live this, and it expresses itself in the energy. You are a positive person. You have a clear face and a clear aura around you, eating healthy. Look at, I have this positive demeanor. I'm not just like a vacuum of positive energy. You know, a lot of people can just be like an energetic vampire is what I call them. People that just kind of just take it, they just absorb the life force energy and take the life force energy, but they never give any back. You never get, you know, there's some people where you just never feel like spiritually energized after being around them. You just feel drained. You feel spiritually drained after being around them. Those are energetic vampires, you know, and so you want to be the opposite of that. You want to be a giver of the positive energy, and so just by living in such a way, that will be the inspiration, in my opinion. And of course, you are doing that. You are doing that. So, let us see here. And PA says, I can weigh in as well. First 6 years of my life, lived in a bar, had alcoholic parents and many family members, been drinking since 14 myself. Whiskey abuse around 24, some drugs in between. Oh, yes, my friend. I understand this very well. And especially, you know, they say that there's a genetic component to all of this, to addiction and things like that. And I used to believe that as well. I used to believe that. But there is actually not a genetic component. And I can stand on my own feet and my own word and say that with absolute certainty. There's not a genetic component. There is a cultural and environmental component. And for example, the biology of belief, the thoughts, epigenetics, how perhaps we have, okay, so maybe I won't say there's no genetic thing to it, but depending upon your beliefs and your thoughts and your decisions, your choices that you consistently make, that determines how those genetics are expressed, which genes are turned on and which genes are turned off. So if we have this genetic potential within us to be an alcoholic or something, well, if we nurture that, or if we just don't do anything to bring ourselves out of that, then absolutely we will, those genetics, it will appear to be genetic because, oh, well, your father was an alcoholic and his father was an alcoholic, so you're going to be an alcoholic. Well, okay, if you believe that, then that's going to be the case. You are going to be. But if you finally come to realize that, in fact, there is no genetic component because you are not a slave to your genetics. You are not a slave to anything except yourself, except your own perpetuating beliefs, unconscious beliefs, of course, that you're not even aware of. And so once you realize this, then you can say, no, I am not a victim of the of my genetics or what people keep telling me I'm genetic. So there is the biology of belief. You can influence your genetics 100% and you can change everything. And I'm talking not just addiction, anything in your life. This is possible. So, let's see. PA says, it was definitely an environmental growing up in Belgium. If you didn't drink, you weren't a real man. Oh my goodness, I know. Tell me about it, my man. You see all these, especially now with internet advertising and stuff, you see all these ads where there's a real man, he's got a bourbon, you know, he drinks his whiskey, and it's some you know, real masculine looking male with a square jaw, and he's sitting, he's got a bunch of leather and, you know, and wood around him, maybe he's on a Harley or something. All these little things cue to this is all purposely placed there, okay? So this is a real man. Maybe he's wearing a flannel or something, and he's sipping some bourbon. He's in real deep contemplation, looking off, not looking at the camera, of course. It's something far more important is off in the distance. Yeah. Yeah. And that talks to the subconscious mind. See, here's a real man, and he's drinking bourbon, you know. But guys, there is nothing manly about about giving your power away. There's nothing masculine about giving your power away to a substance. There's nothing masculine about that, about being helpless and poisoning yourself, both physically, but poisoning yourself spiritually with the alcohol or any of these drugs. I can tell you, there's nothing manly about that. Okay, it's actually the opposite of that. A real man has the strength and power, but not the Hollywood kind of strength and power where you're all like a alpha type aggressive and stuff. I'm talking strength of character, the strength of compassion and kindness and goodwill. These are strengths, and it comes from strength of character. It comes from the inside, the ability to take pain without complaint. This is manly. So drinking has nothing to do at all with masculinity, and I wish more people could understand that. I wish more people could hear me on that, because it's the opposite of that is sort of pushed upon us now in advertising and everything, and in movies and in sitcoms and all that stuff, just over and over and over again. And so there's an epidemic of this, and just an epidemic of this. So, yeah. The mom computer says, yes, a lack of B2 will cause skin. Okay, you guys are having a conversation. That's good, good. Yes, have your side conversations, no doubt. And Pam says, we are our own worst enemy. Yes, absolutely, we can be. We can be our own worst enemy depending upon the thoughts that we persistently and consistently entertain. But we can change it all. You can also, awakening really is going from being your own worst enemy to being your own best friend, your own protector, and your own guider. And this is the most important thing to me. Ms. T says, the strength and power looks so good on individuals. Man, I could not agree more. To me, that is one of the most attractive aspects of a person. You can just tell the people that are strong, have strength of character, after not just by looking at them, but by being around them and by feeling them and all of this, and the energy and the way that they move through the world, the way they treat other people is a very good indicator of their internal state and their spiritual state. And yes, when somebody has strength of character, strength of will, that is so attractive to me. And not someone that is just at the whim of their every little floozy emotion, and every little thing just drags them along. Their whole world crushes, and because somebody said this or somebody did this to them, or they got a drink, or now they gotta even not chemicals, all that stuff. No, that is not attractive to me. That what is attractive is someone that has control over their emotions, but not in the sense of repression, not in the sense of, I don't feel any of that stuff. No, that's not control. That's repression. Control is, I feel it completely. I accept it. I'm not blocking it. I'm not, whatever the emotion is, I'm not afraid of it. I don't care what emotion arises on the screen of my life. It's all just like they're all clouds passing in the sky. But I am the sky itself. And so you just watch them go. And so it's you feel them completely, and but you're not at the mercy of them. You don't invest your sense of self into every little emotion that pops up and stuff. No, because you understand yourself as above all of these emotions. So it doesn't matter. A real man, since we're talking about real masculinity and stuff, healthy masculinity can feel any range of emotion: sadness, sorrow, jealousy. All of these things can come up, but you don't follow them. You don't hold on to them as who you are. You understand that they are a temporary, fleeting experience in a much, much larger context of who you are, which is infinity. It's everything, the all of creation. So yes, this is that's attractive to me. Man, okay. So, Brian says, sharing the knowledge is the only way to fix the mess we are in. Yes, absolutely, my friend. We are sharing the knowledge, and we are focusing on awakening. This is important. We are focusing on raising our vibration, raising our frequency, changing the dial, okay? Changing the dial of the constant state of the world and all of the things that you're meant to believe in and all the things that are meant to distract you, and the submarine with the Titanic submarine and all that kind of stuff. You're not okay, it's changing the dial from all of that. And the sense of impending doom will just sort of evaporate when you do this. And so if each of us focus on purifying our thoughts and purifying our life, then the whole, the collective, will take care of itself. So let us suppose I awaken, then you awaken your life, and then your sister awakens. And then the person in South Africa awakens, okay? And so if each of us focus on that, the collective takes care of itself. You don't have to focus on trying to awaken anyone else, because there's no telling what is going to inspire that person. There's no telling what is going to be the one thing, the link that clicks, and then whoa. Then the mind is blown and everything changes. Let's see here. Old Town, what's up, my friend? Let's see. Mom, Ben Hudson says, yes, I am. And happily, not quite yet. Okay, approaching 6th decade. Ben Hudson, you're 60? For some reason, I thought you were much younger. Pam says, so it starts with each of us. Absolutely. It starts with each of us, and it starts with our thoughts. And it starts with the mind is everything. The mind precedes everything. And, we'll have a much deeper talk about the mind sometime, because I don't just mean the brain. I mean the mind, okay? Looking for the self, for the sense of self inside the brain is like looking for the announcer in the radio. Trying to find the announcer in the radio. It's not there. It's a frequency. It's a broadcast. So are you. So is the energy. It's a frequency, a broadcast. So looking for the consciousness that we are inside this organism is like looking for the announcer inside the radio. Do you understand this analogy? So it's so much bigger than that. So let's see. Trish says, what do you think the media was trying to deflect from by focusing on the Titan sub? I don't know anymore. I mean, just this morning, of course, maybe some of you saw that video that just this morning where they, where the Korean guy was sort of talking about that exact thing, how they went for 5 days, they drew it out in the media, even though the U.S. Navy knew on Sunday before any of that was happening that the sub had already imploded. They drug it out for 5 days to really captivate the whole country. I mean, everyone I know was talking about this. And this Titan, the billionaire and the sub and all of that. So I don't know exactly what in that video, the Korean guy, he says, yes, that there was all kinds of stuff with, Biden impeachment and all of this and emails deleted and all of that. I don't pay attention to that stuff anymore. I can't, because it's all leading you into the darkness in a way. There's no need. It doesn't pertain to the life. And so anytime that I see something that is being pushed upon us so much, I don't need to know exactly the specifics about what it's covering up. I just know that it's covering up something. It's redirecting. It's misdirecting things, like the Chinese spy balloon that the whole country, we're going to war and all this blah blah blah. It's all noise. It's all just static, meant to distract you, meant to keep you confined into the 5 sense world. And because we are the ultimate, the one infinite energy. And so essentially gods in the old language, where they would call, each one of us are gods, like gods. And so how do you an infinite being, okay? But how many infinites can there be? There can only be one infinite. There cannot be multiple, because that would mean there would be dividing lines. There's one infinite, and we are all gods. And so how do you get gods to enslave? How do you enslave gods? Is you get them to believe that they are enslaved. You get them to focus on the 5 senses. So you enslave them by getting them to enslave themselves. That is how you do it. And that is exactly what we see in all the forms of media and advertising. And the enslavement is in the 5 senses, in what we can see and feel and touch and hear, like this, and the taste and all of that. The 5 sense experience is actually a tiny fraction of the totality of what we are. But most people have yet to ever go beyond the 5 senses. And so even me saying this to most people will not make any sense at all. And it just, oh, okay, yeah, it's just so far out there, they just kind of write it off. Oh, okay, whatever, but this is the ultimate link right here, is that when you transcend the five senses, you find yourself that is beyond all of that. And so all the noise and everything is to get people, keep them tied to their five senses and to the experience that they're having in this world. All right. And so it's, and you can see it everywhere. You can see it everywhere with entertainment and with the Titan sub and the Chinese spy balloon and alcohol, and then spending and glorifying these rappers and all these people that just frivolously blow money for absolutely nothing on material little pleasures like shiny chains and cars and stuff like that. I mean, that is the definition of insanity. Frivolousness. So get people, implant it in their mind through repetition, through the media, through the images, implant it in their mind that is success, that is the ultimate goal. And you will have people enslaving themselves, chasing those goals their whole life, and thinking that, okay, there it is. I'm almost going to get it. Psych, you never get it, because it's not there. It's endless. It is endless. There's always another thing to chase. There's always another shiny object. There's always a new wine to try, a new restaurant. There's always you can always get bigger. That's not where any of it is at. It's, you let go of all of that and you transcend to your real self, the self with a capital S, the one ultimate self. And, then when that happens, guys, it's game over. You cannot be controlled. You will exist within the system, but not of the system. You are completely removed entirely from the whole system. But you can come back in and you can play with it as you want, but you're not of it anymore. It doesn't have control over you. So you don't fear the state of the world. You don't worry about any of that, because none of that matters. You know yourself as the one eternal being. And so the things that are happening are insignificant. And so, but that's like the worst case scenario for the global, the Illuminati type, the Club of Rome, the Lemurian Council. We know about all that kind of stuff, of course. And that's like the worst nightmare of them, is for people to awaken to their real nature. Because then they absolutely cannot be controlled, because the incentive is gone. They realize that they are not of this world. They're all that is and ever has been and will be. And so there's not much you can do to control those type of people. So, yeah, guys, this is fun with you guys. This is like my favorite type of conversation to have. This is like my favorite type. So Brian says, once you can get away from the thought that you are just a battery for the machine, then only can open the door to the truth. Yes, absolutely. A battery for the machine. Just keep the people working, keep them, ignorant of their true nature. What's at the top of the pyramid, on the back of the dollar bill, that little eye, the all-seeing eye, the top of the pyramid is knowledge. What's at the top? The understanding of your true nature, of the nature of reality, that there is no solidity and that there is no you. There is only the one infinite vibration that has eternal possibility in every way. And so they want to keep you ignorant of that, because like we said, that cannot be controlled. That can't be, fear can't be imposed on that, nothing, because how are you going to impose fear on all that is the ultimate power of the universe? So, let's see here. TC says, thank you. Yes, you're very welcome. Mom Computer says, you have to use discernment when you hear any of it. Oh, absolutely, man. It's meant to do all of this, definitely. Let's see. Lita says, my son talked me into not paying attention to the media 2 years ago, and I feel really at peace now. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there's and especially after the pandemic, there is a whole press, or there's a whole these YouTube channels and these headlines. I mean, it just took a whole different explosion in the sense of it's all trying to create this feeling of impending doom. How many of you feel that or have felt that? Maybe you don't now because you've freed yourself, but how many of you know people or are one of these people that feel a sense of impending doom? Like the world is just about to implode. Like society's just about to collapse. Like civil war is just about to break out. Like the climate is just about to go haywire. Like all of this is just on the horizon, but yet it never really comes. It never really happens. Yet it's always gonna happen. It's always just around the corner. Guys, this has been implanted into the mind of even the people that are aware and are somewhat conscious. It has been implanted into their mind. And so there is no impending doom. There is no impending doom. Even if any of those things happen at some point, it will not be anything like this sense of impending doom that has been implanted into your mind. So it is so important that we free ourselves from this. And so we don't listen to talk radio and to the news headlines, and we don't listen to any of that stuff unless we are just get off on feeling fear and worry and anxiety about the state of the world. Because look around to your life, okay? Look around to your life right now. How does it affect your life? Who is the figure in the White House? I know you think it does. I know you think it does. Many of you will think that it does. But how does it actually affect your life? How has your life, if you're an American even, how has your life really changed as presidents have changed? Just the theatrical reality TV show that is politics is the only thing that seems to change. But how has your life really changed between Clinton to Bush to Obama to Bush to blah, blah, blah? It hasn't, and it's not going to. Because the forces and the people that are really guiding things are not in the public eye. Politicians are there to take the attention away from the people that actually make the decisions. And once you realize all of this, that it plays the same way in all countries as well, that I've been to and that I've seen the way that all of this works. And once we see this, we say, okay, so I'm going to stop watching. I'm going to stop watching the reality TV show of politics and of the news and of the media and all of that, okay? Because I'm going to take control of my life and my thoughts again. So, okay. Fabrizio says, regarding doing the master cleanse, I feel like I wasted the first one. I went back to eating greasy vegetable oil-based junk. Must recalibrate. Oh, man. Okay. Guys, what do you think I'm going to say about that? What do you think I'm going to say? It is because you have not gone deep into the subconscious and rewired the image that exists in your mind. So you will need to do that. If you want lasting change to come, you will need to do that. The easiest way to do it is by repetition. I know it doesn't seem, drink another lemonade. I know that almost, but he's talking about he went back to the old, to his old habits. And so, if you've gone back to the old habits, it's because you have not gone to the depth of your subconscious. And so you can start doing this by repetition. I know it seems too easy to be true. I know it does, but it's the way, okay? I have moved mountains in life using the repetition of the subconscious. And so read the book, Self-Mastery Through Conscious Auto-Suggestion. Also read the book, As a Man Thinketh, okay? These are going to start to get you thinking along the right lines. But the repetition is the key. And once you, we would have to have like a whole thing about developing them. But you have to constantly repeat to yourself the image and verbally speaking it until the image implants in the mind of the you that you are going to become. And you have to repeat it so many times that it speaks to the subconscious. And then once the subconscious takes hold of that concept, it will begin to manifest that in your life. Once you develop the image of the ideal being that you are, then that you want to become, then you will, once it becomes implanted, the subconscious will then redirect your choices. You will not have any craving at all for greasy, garbage food or anything like. You will not have a craving for that kind of stuff. In fact, it will repulse you. Cigarettes will repulse you. Drinking alcohol will just give you shivers, because it's not in line with what you are anymore. It's not in line with the image of what you are becoming, and ultimately of what you already are, because there is no time. But that's for another discussion. But so you won't have to like really try and really work until you go in. Here's one way that you can tell if you have spoken to the subconscious or not. If you still feel like you have to put a lot of effort into not doing something or to doing something, then it hasn't yet become your default pattern, meaning that it hasn't yet got to the subconscious. So until that comes, it's going to seem like, oh, I got to try not to eat them cookies. Oh no, or I got to try not to drink that glass of something. Oh no, and you're going to be sweating, and it's going to be willpower, and it's going to be white knuckling. You haven't gone to the subconscious. Okay. You're still using the conscious mind, because once you go to the subconscious, then, and it takes hold, that's the source of your desires, of your cravings come from that state. And so then it will not even be, you'll see the cookies and there will be no sensation at all. There will be, what? It doesn't matter to you. Or there might even be repulsion. There might even be like, oh God, no, because the body and everything knows, because you've gone to the source of the program. And then it becomes effortless. It's effortless because it's what you are. It's not in alignment. Those cookies, that alcohol, that cigarettes, that shopping addiction, that buying another useless, frivolous trinket, all of that is no longer in alignment with what you are. And so it's just effortless to not do those things. This is possible, my friends. This is very possible. So, yeah. Okay, guys, so we're approaching the end of this one. So I've really appreciated you guys. I'm so glad that you guys are having conversations with each other, helping each other out. Come back to this talk and read the comments as well. If you're reading it after the fact, I like to put up the chat replay so that you guys can see what is being said and all of that. And I just love it, And so, oh yeah, Pam says fear equals false evidence appearing real. Yes, absolutely. Because there is nothing to fear. How could all that is, how is the ultimate power of the universe, the creative force of reality, how could that fear something? It's never been born. It can never die. It's immortal in every way. So how are you going to get that to fear something? Only if you can get it to believe that it's fearful, that something is worth fearing. That's the only way, because there is nothing to fear. So, all right, guys. So here we go. I think that next week we're going to start at 10:30. What do you guys think about that? Based upon everybody and based upon everyone's suggestions, 10:30 in the morning is going to be what we're going to do, because I would like to get it out of the middle of the day, just because, like I said, Mondays are those days when I hit it. I like to hit projects, and I got to make videos for my gardening channel and all that stuff. So 10:30. I think next week is going to be 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So just an hour and a half sooner, but that's going to give me more time for the day for doing things. So, okay, good. And what do you guys think about starting the next one with about 10 minutes, give or take, of meditation? 10 minutes of guided meditation. 10:30 next Monday. We'll start with 10, maybe 15 minutes of guided meditation. That way you guys have an idea of how of what I'm talking about. And this will be the meditation that we'll do. Is going to be the meditation, the one. And I've tried so many different methods over the years and all of this stuff, and I've worked with so many people doing it. I know the good ones. Okay. And so immediately we can start with 10, 15 minutes of a real powerful meditation. This meditation is going to be like, it's not going to be just a relaxing type. Oh, just let all the cares of, it's not that type of meditation. Okay. The new agey type. This is like, the kind that we're going to do next week is like going to the gym for your mind. Okay. It's going to be very awesome. And so that's going to be good for everybody. So if you're watching this after the fact, make sure that you join us for that. And so we're going to be doing it. We're going to keep showing up every Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to be doing the same exact thing. If you guys have topics that you would like to see us start with next time, let me know. And then every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time, we do a live Q&A on my other channel, which is called Garden Like a Viking. I think most of you know this. So join us there if you want to grow your own food, which one of the fastest ways to raise your vibration, my friends, is to consciously grow nutrient-rich food full of life force, and then put that into the body, and that is going to up. Okay? All right, my friends, we will see you next time.